Run it, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been better. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out the books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman. Y'all better not let them in, they gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling. Started a chain, the cycle is heaven sent. This is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a big bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch out touchdown, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my. Yeah.
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair, took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How with the gang we packing? We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no home, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas key. You with me, sheesh. But need Chief Keef.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They've been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 1:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Bitcoin tests the all-time high. Guys, we actually have broken the all-time high on a few different exchanges here. We just barely tapped it here on Bybit, but we did break it on Bitstamp and the Binance spot charts, guys. So it is getting exciting for Bitcoin. And as you guys know, as we have been tapping up against that value area high, guys, I had been forced to go against my general bias, which at a value area high is typically looking for shorts, but we use the context of the market to anticipate higher lows and higher highs, and we knew that if we were able to get that push above that 786 yesterday, we were very likely to see the daily and weekly naked point of controls around $108,000 and $109,000. We're going to take a look at that, and then eventually after that, there was nothing above other than the all-time high, which we just came up and tapped, and we even got the cool-off from the daily naked point of control to retest in that value area high zone before putting in another higher low and a new higher high, guys. Are we about to break out into our higher targets? I want to talk about those next targets to the upside, go over the charts in general, give you guys my thoughts. Are we still bullish? Are we mega bearish at the all-time highs? Are we going to SFP that all-time high and get the mega dump to the downside? Well, we're going to break it all down for you guys in today's live stream. Shout out to Mark Dutch said, what happened, Frankie? You fell out of bed. Hey, shout out to Mark Dutch. No, I actually stood up out of bed today. Usually I do fall out of it, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm a pretty clumsy sleeper. But shout out to Brinkmore. Welcome in, bro. Said double top looks similar to 2021 all-time high. Oh, my God. We'll take a look at that. Jesse says, I'm bullish till the end, Frankie. Shout out to Jesse. Yeah, I'm going to break down everything for you guys. As you know, the general bias has been a continuation to the upside even at our key level of resistance, guys. That's the importance of being able to read the context of the market and understand that seeing those higher lows and higher highs over time does indicate that the trend is your friend, and you're going to want to be favoring the long positions and being very conservative with the short positions, especially if you're shorting that all-time high, which I may or may not have gambled on, guys. I may or may not have gambled on it. Said, are you short? Well, guys, let's just go ahead, smash that like button. We're going to jump right into the charts here as the price action is getting pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Said I'm still in a short from 89K. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Oh boy. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Hopefully that wasn't a huge position for you. But yeah, guys, here we are. Testing the all-time high, and like I said, on BitBuy, on Bybit, guys, we barely came up and tapped this all-time high. But if we come on over to Bitstamp, you can see we did actually come up and sweep that high just barely here. And like I said, I am in a bit of a gamble. I am in a little bit of a gamble short position here of about $907, guys, from the tippy top. But I will say, guys, this is a dangerous game. I don't recommend this for anybody. This is like, shorting all-time highs is kind of like a, I don't know. It's like it's kind of like a rock brain move. But hey, we're up $921. So you can't hate that over on Blowfin. But yeah, we'll see. I got my stop loss slightly and basically at break even here. So we'll see. It's a risk-free trade for me. Like I said, it's not really a gamble if there is. Oh, hey, there we go. Up $1,000. But yeah, not really a gamble if you got your stop loss at break even. But not too bad. I will be honest here, guys. I would not be super shocked here if I just get blasted out of this position. But hey, $1,000 a day keeps the doctor away. Unless we get stopped at a break even. In that case, it'll be like, I don't know, 85 cents a day keeps the doctor away, or the day job. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the stream if I'm stopped out of that. But, I do like to share the trades with you guys here. So, but we did come up, and we did SFP that all-time high just slightly here on this is the Bitstamp spot chart. But on Bybit, guys, we barely front-ran that level here. If you zoom in enough, you could see we did just barely. We barely came up, and we missed that all-time high by literally $3. But we are getting a little bit of a pullback here, guys. But as you know, I'm going to do an overall market update here with you guys and show you kind of my thought process here as price action develops. But I'm going to break down the higher time frames for you guys just because I want to talk about how this was not completely, or not really unexpected at all. Not even completely unexpected, but this was not unexpected at all, guys. And this just goes to show that understanding market structure, especially when you're in a bull market like this, we've been in a bull market for quite some time here, absolutely roaring to the upside, massive higher highs and higher lows, clearly bullish market structure on the higher time frames, and even more recently, we've just been looking at this aggressive push to the upside, just Bitcoin not really given any significant pullbacks, just keeping those higher lows continuing, and just, heating on above that value area low into the POC. And as you guys know, if you watch the channel very often, you will know that this golden pocket was that big area. Maybe I will pull it. We did have that macro golden pocket here, and we knew, hey, once we get above this level, that is the big level, right? Everybody was wondering if this was the bear market, if we were going to turn around and get that bigger dump to the downside. This was the level to do it. Once we crossed above that level, not only were we anticipating the value area high, but we talked about how it greatly increased the chances of seeing a new all-time high come in here for Bitcoin, at least in the medium term. It doesn't have to happen immediately. But yeah, we broke that level, guys. We continued through the profile, and even as we came up to this level, we break above this 786, we flip it to support, we tap the value area high, and this is where it got a little bit difficult for me personally, because as we talked about yesterday on the live stream, when you come up to that value area high, it's very rare that I am looking just for a breakout to the upside. But by looking at the order flow, especially with the premium Discord yesterday, we just saw that bullish CVD forming. We had the higher lows, and any pullbacks were looked at as lackluster for higher lows and continuations to the upside. We got the pullback, put in a higher low, and then yesterday, as we were looking at on the live stream, you guys know those next targets to the upside were going to be the daily and weekly naked points of controls. The targets have been absolutely spanking lately, and you can see here that next level. Let me see. I think I do have a purple box here. Yeah. So this was our next level to the upside yesterday during the live stream, and we were looking if we were able to, we did get the breakout, and even any pullback, we were looking to come down into the value area high zone, hold it as support again, just to continue that higher low structure, to continue that trend to the upside. And we got up to the daily naked point of control, got that little bit of a pullback. We actually had a short setup here from the in the premium Discord. Obviously, we are actually looking for a final TP down here, but obviously all the scalps are looked at as scalps until shorts are looked at as scalps until proven otherwise. We get that little push to the downside. We hit that value area high, and we held that exact level that we wanted to, guys, as support. And we push up into where? We push up into that weekly naked point of control, sitting at $109,000, just about 108,999, and then above that, all we had was our all-time high, which is what we are rejecting right now. Now up $1,600 on the short position. Good Lord, guys. Good Lord. Hopefully that is not the all-time high forever. If it is, we shorted the tippy top, but yeah, dang. All right, up 1830 on the short. Not too bad. Not really, I don't really like that, right? Like, I mean, not that it makes me feel super bearish or anything, but come on, Bitcoin. Come on. We want to see some all-time highs here. We went live for a reason. We wanted to see fireworks, not to the downside, but to the upside. But obviously, guys, as you can see, right, understanding the context of the market, just like I had to go completely against my strategy here, assuming this breakout, the flip of the value area high to push up into the $109,880 level. And here we are. So not too shabby here. And I do want to talk about some targets to the upside, guys, because again, my bias remains exactly the same as it was all the way down here near our weekly naked point of control. This was our golden pocket 786 retracement. Specifically, the 786 is what we bounced off of. This is where we looked for an opportunity of a higher low to come in and either at the golden pocket put in a lower high and a lower low, or if we got above that golden pocket, we would look for a potential push above this range, and here we are. So my bias pretty much remains the same, guys. It is bullish here. It is bullish. Assuming that we hold above this value area high at this point, this is still the biggest key level of support, right? Because if we break back down into this value area high, potentially we could get accepted back into the range. We do still have some levels down here that we can look at, but for the most part, just like yesterday, value area high of that macro range does remain key support, and that does sit at about $105,850. As long as we can remain above there, I don't mind kind of bing-bonging around here as long as we don't decisively get accepted back below this value area high. That could be a little bit more bearish, at least in the medium term, and then we can kind of assess the situation as it continues on. But yeah, guys, this does not look too bad, just like we talked about yesterday. And if we pull up some of those higher targets, I want to talk about some local targets to the upside, ignoring the all-time high, ignoring the daily and weekly naked points of controls. But let's just go ahead and assume that we are going to come up and crack this all-time high. Where are those next levels that we can look at? Well, if we pull our local Fibonacci extension levels from this high of the range to the low of the range, and we pull up those extensions, you guys can see our next key level. And yeah, we actually kind of rejected the first local Fibonacci extensions. But above this, guys, the next big levels that I will be looking at are going to be sitting right here between same levels you looked at yesterday, between about 114,256 and 112,463. Oh, man, Bitcoin. She's pushing back. Probably a lot of the longs getting wrecked here. Let me just pull up exo charts really quickly here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, we got some longs getting spanked out here, which is not to be expected, not to be unexpected here, as people, get super excited. Everybody longs the top, and then they come out and wash out the longs. But this is going to be the next target to the upside, guys. 114,256 to 112,463. If we're able to hop on top of that value area high. Oh, God. Oh, man. She's dumping. She's dumping, guys. Oh, man. Up 2K. Yikes. Oh, man. Man, the longs are getting spanked right now. Good Lord. We didn't even get like an aggressive SFP. We just came up and tapped it slightly. And, yeah, here we go. The ride to the downside. Good Lord. Good Lord. All right. So, yeah, those are the next targets to the upside. I do want to talk about some longer-term targets as well, as long as, again, we're able to hold above this value area high. And, again, I wouldn't say, like, the push into this value area high is, like, the mega bearish scenario. But, again, like, this is just the local level of support. Same thing we looked at yesterday. 105,000. Let me get that exactly. 105,846. Hopefully we can hold above that. Because, again, you break above the value area high, right? You're just hoping. Again, oh, man. Let's see here, 16-hour. And we looked at this yesterday as well, guys. Again, very hard, very difficult situation up here. I'm really glad. And this just goes to show, guys, when you're looking at the charts, you really have to, like, keep your ego out of the game, guys, because the charts are the truth, and your ego means absolutely nothing. Because at a value area high, I'm typically not super bearish, but, like, this is where we're looking for shorts, right? But we just saw that context pushing up. And the one thing that was the one thing I was looking at that could have worried us yesterday was the 12-hour and 16-hour bearish divergences. But we even talked about, hey, if the context is correct and we keep squeezing up, you could put a higher high in on your momentum wave, which could potentially invalidate that little 12-hour bearish divergence, which did happen. We came up, we put a higher high in here, so that 12-hour bear div is no longer or 16-hour bear div is no longer valid, and then the 12-hour as well has put in a higher high here on our momentum waves. So again, we did see that. We looked at that yesterday, and thank God that did end up happening because, I don't think, maybe if we mega dump here, this wave could come down a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if you're actually going to get that. We'll have to see what happens, but it does look like those are getting invalidated, which would be good for a bigger, longer-term continuation to the upside. And, dang, we're getting pretty close to that value area high now. $2,300 on the short. I'm actually going to lock in some profits here real quick, guys. Let me go ahead and take a little off the table here. Bada boom. There we go. Take a little bit of profit off the table there as we're dumping. This is these key levels all remain the same, guys. But if we do continue up, obviously that first local Fibonacci extension target is going to be what I'm looking at next. If we do get a bigger continuation up, if we continue to dump, value area high, key level of support, but those bigger extension levels, guys. If and this, I wouldn't expect this today or tomorrow. Hopefully that would be nice, but I don't want to make it seem like we're just gonna yeet up to there right this second. But the bigger targets, guys. If we are gonna come up, flip that all-time high to support. We kind of expect some kind of turbulence at the value area high. But if we do come up again, guys, between $118,256 and $124,575 would be the bigger targets to the upside. So kind of just like, on the way down, we have those bigger support levels that we look at. These are going to be like the bigger resistance levels and the bigger targets to the upside, right? Like we knew once we broke down out of this range, the big targets to the downside would be the macro golden pocket in the 786. We came on down there. We tapped both of those levels. We got bounces off of both of them as well, right? Bounce off the golden pocket. We bounce off the golden pocket kind of front run the 786, and then again, like these were the two big targets to the downside on the way down, right? These are the two big targets on the way to the upside. And then 118 to about $124,000. Are we going to see that sometime soon? I hope so. I really do hope so. But those are the big major targets to the upside, guys. And you might be saying to yourself, well, Frankie, what about 155? What about 250K? What about 500K? We'll cross that bridge when we get there, guys. Calling for those super, super high targets like right this second is very difficult, right? Because if we do come up there, right, let's say we get above these local extension levels, right? We come into 124K, things start to look super bearish, right? We have to analyze the price action as it comes up here, because if it wasn't a perfect example at this value area high, that you have to see what price action looks like when you get to the level before you look for a confident move, right? Typically here, I would say if we get above this POC, I'm saying, hey guys, value area high is next. That's an opportunity to look for short positions. But once we get up there, what do we see, right? We see that we're making higher highs and higher lows. We have bullish CVD. Bitcoin is very, very bullish. Money flow is in the green. So we're not just going to look to short that value area high for no reason. We actually did have a short setup from up here. But again, you have to change your context, right? It's going to be like, well, hey, things are bullish right now. We could look to short that value area high, but it has to be looked at as a scalp until proven otherwise, right? Because the overall context here is bullish. Those are the next major targets. Let me pull up chat real quick here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see here. Shout out to Mr. Market. Said, Darren, I believe we're on the same page, but different paragraphs. Shout out to Mr. Market. That's better than than reading two different books. Let's see. It's already dumped $2,900. Yeah, shout out to Buy Bitcoin Daily. Hey, maybe it's a buy the dip situation. Not financial advice, guys. Let's see. Shorting the bull is hard. Just wait for the next long. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Market. That's like the general thought process, right? Like, again, the trend is your friend until the end. Unless you're looking for like those micro scalps. Obviously, I did just take some profit off of this, but obviously, there is money to be made on the dumps to the downside. But again, like if you're not, an experienced trader, like these are very hard to catch, and they're also very risky, right? So you have to understand the risk that comes with them. Even when we first started dumping, I moved my stop loss to break even very, very quickly. Keeping the opportunity to make some money on the way down, but also protecting myself from getting absolutely cooked if we did rip back to the upside. Because again, shorting all-time highs, guys, is super dangerous, right? Like this is clearly a bullish market. But again, you do have to be a bit more experienced to catch those little scalps. And again, even this, I'm treating as a scalp to proven otherwise. I already have profits locked in. You see my stop loss move to break even. If we yeet up, I'll make some money, no big deal. And then, we could just look for our next long position. In a bull trend, obviously, even, through all of this, right? Once we saw money flow crossing into the green on the daily, we look at that as like, hey, any pullbacks are lackluster until proven otherwise. If we came up here and put in these massive daily 12-hour bearish divergences and money flow was coming out, it looked super bearish, maybe we would have taken like bigger positions. But even up here at resistance, we look for shorts, but we do anticipate them to be lackluster for higher lows and higher highs, right? So yeah, pretty beautiful stuff here, guys. And the fact that we flipped this 786 to support is huge because although the golden pocket was really the big level I was looking at to potentially get the if it looked bearish, we were going to look for that bigger pullback. But, you know, technically the end of that zone does come in at the 786. But what happened? We came up, we held it, we held it, we held it. That invalidates the idea of that lower high coming in, right? And then what happens? Yeah, yeet on off to higher prices. So pretty exciting stuff here, guys. You know, it's not every day that Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, especially after seeing all the fear in the market here. You know, this was brutal, man. Everybody was just like, this is horrible, this is horrible. And it's just nice to see some positive price action. It's better than just being up here and be like, lower targets. I'd much rather make videos and live streams looking at higher targets. Even though we do obviously make money whether it goes up or down, you know, it is more fun to look at those upper targets. It's more exciting. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Hayden 2K. He said, why are alts not pumping like December and January? Shout out to Hayden. Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes Bitcoin is the first mover, right? Like sometimes Bitcoin will rip, and then once it starts to consolidate, and let's be honest here, guys. I know it is exciting that we hit the all-time high, but it's not like Bitcoin is ripping and roaring into, you know, 120K. You know, at that point, we'd probably see some of the altcoins run, but sometimes Bitcoin just gets that move to the upside, and the alts are kind of chilling. And then once Bitcoin pulls back or goes sideways, that's really where you start to see the altcoins start to run. But yeah, you know, Bitcoin is usually the first one to kind of steal the show. So I wouldn't say it's like too out of the ordinary. Shout out to anybody who watched the live stream last night. Not anything too crazy here. Well, there we are, back to entry. But, you know, we're looking at things like H-bar. We do still have some altcoins that are like just starting to play around with their value area lows, which is really nice, right? Because if Bitcoin is going to get that push to the upside, and we are eventually going to see a lot of these altcoins continue up after getting their big retracements, you know, reclaiming these value area lows could be absolutely huge. And we were looking at H-bar last night saying like, hey, we've gotten into the value area. We're starting to tap that value area low as support. Could be a place where we could start to get a little bit of a move to the upside. If we do continue down, we have that golden pocket anchored VWAP around, you know, 18 cents. So I wouldn't even really hate if we did come down and play around with these zones, right? Put in some bullish confirmations, reclaim, and then get a bigger move to the upside. Just below that, you do have your 786 at about 17 cents. But yeah, like there's a decent amount of altcoins that are starting to play around with their value area lows, which is really nice because when you approach those value area lows from underneath, right? You know, the assumed, right, laws of the volume profile would call for a flip of that value area low, a push into the POC, flip that POC, and potentially make your way up to the value area high. And I do want to take a look at a couple of altcoins. I kind of wanted to focus on this earlier live stream on Bitcoin, as that was where we were getting the majority of the excitement. But yeah, we'll take a look at some of the altcoins. Let me check in on chat real quick. Let's see. ETH is really struggling. Yeah, ETH is like, this is definitely going to go down as the cycle where, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say struggling. I mean, definitely not ripping. That's for sure. But like, you know, it's nothing really like super alarming here. We even have some key levels of support on ETH below. That, you know, even if we do get a bigger pullback, you know, we're still above the anchored VWAP. We're still above the POC. I would say Ethereum is still, you know, we have come up to key resistance. Even if we got a bigger pullback, right? You do still have some key support. POC, golden pocket, value area low, sitting right here between about. Let me actually clean this up a little bit. Bada boom. Sitting between about 2,136 and $2,100. Value area low of the macro range is always going to be your biggest key level of support. And this is kind of where I always go back here and show you guys, you know, sometimes you will get above that value area high, play around with that POC, right? It can get very turbulent. We even came down and tested this one more time before finally getting that bigger lift off into the value area. And then eventually it was just straight shot up to that value area high. Shout out to the volume profiles. Absolutely insane. So it's kind of the same thing here, right? Like even if we did get some turbulence, as long as we can hold above that POC or value area low, things could still look pretty decent, right? You can't expect everything to go up in a straight line, especially after Ethereum did get that pretty large rip. That impulse was about 56%, right? Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. You have to get the consolidation. You have to get the pullbacks in order to, you know, continue your moves up, right? Unless you're in a situation like this. You got that last pullback, and then it just starts absolutely screaming. So, yeah. Let's see here. Can we look at Link? Yeah, shout out to Golden Child. We could try to take a look at Link, no problemo. And we will keep we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin here as well. Let me just set some alerts in case we're looking at those altcoins and Bitcoin starts moving again. We'll just go ahead and put an alert right here. Actually, yeah, I'll put an alert right here. So if we start pushing back up, we'll know. yeah, we're just going to roll the dice on that. Hopefully it functions as intended. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Angelic. Said Frankie just slipped up with his ETH price prediction. $200 incoming. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I always do that. Like XRP hitting $1.36, not 136. Let's see. Did we just witness Frankie gamble live? Well, here's the thing. Let me talk about that real quick because I do really stand by any time that I take a trade, guys, even on my DGen accounts, which is where I took this trade. Even my degenerate, like, gamble trades are, to a gambler, would still look like a highly calculated decision, right? So I do just want to be clear here, right? This short that I took up here was not just based off of tapping the all-time high and looking for a move down. It's almost, like, 0% chance that I ever just, like, see a level hit and take a trade for no reason. I have to have some kind of entry trigger, and those entry triggers were the fact that we did get an SFP of this high. We started swing failing this high. We wick above, close below, wick above, close below, and that's pretty much what I was looking at, on top of the fact that we also had, I wouldn't call these like, super, super extremely, bearish signs, right? But we did have some local bearish divergences as well, right? We came into that key level, right? Higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves. High chance, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to play out this good, right? I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit less of a pullback, but we did get the big dump, right? And again, if you're able to get into these positions, guys, and you're able to move your stop loss to break even quick enough, right, you are able to make it a risk-free trade, right? Like I took the trade, we dumped down immediately, I moved my stop loss, right? Because I know how dangerous it is to short the all-time highs, right? So it's not just that, like, I would never just randomly gamble on a position. So, like, I know it seems like that. The reason I call it, like, a gamble is just because shorting an all-time high is kind of like a crazy move, right? Only for the boldest, right? Not for the faint of heart. But yeah, not just taken for no reason, right? There were definitely confirmations there. But again, it's just like in general, shorting an all-time high is generally going to be a pretty low probability trade. But again, if you protect yourself, it's pretty much risk-free, right? We take it, get a beautiful entry, like pretty much at the tippy top, and then all you need to do is pull back a little bit, move your stop loss down. If you get stopped out at break even, no big deal. If it dumps, hey, you can make some money. Not too bad. So yeah. Let's see. Shout out to Golden. Yo, thank you for the super chat, bro. Check DMs after update, please. Yeah, shout out to Golden, bro. I said I was going to hit you up yesterday. I actually had somewhere to be. But yes, I will check my DMs right after this. Shout out to Golden, baby. Welcome in, bro. And thank you for gifting all those memberships yesterday. You're the absolute GOAT, bro. Let's see. Shout out to Curtis Reset. Just messing with you. We love you, Frankie. Really. Shout out to Curtis. No, of course. I just don't ever want anyone to think that, like, that's a good way to trade, right? And I'm not going to say I'll be honest. That's, like, pretty as gambly as I get, right? Like, if we didn't have any of those signs, I probably wouldn't have shorted it. But, sometimes I do take, like, super degenerate positions. Sometimes I let the Discord know, like, hey, guys, do not follow, but, just sharing with you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and short this thing or, long this thing, whatever it is. But, yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? It's nice to be able to, what other job in the world, what other skill could you learn in the world that lets you wake up and make a couple $1,000s that quick, right? And just to be clear, I don't have all that locked in, right? So if we wake up right now, I'll probably make, I think like 500 is what I locked in, right? So, but it's pretty crazy, right? I could close this right now and be like, hey, 2K for the day. I'm going to go, I don't know, do whatever I want, right? That's why I love trading. It's the only skill in the world that allows you to have, to just make money from your desk without having to, you don't have to listen to a boss. You don't have to follow rules. You do have to follow a lot of rules. But, it's just there's no other job like this. There's no salary cap. And, once you figure out the skill of trading, these opportunities pop up on the chart all the time. But, yeah, let's go ahead. I want to take a look at some of the other they leave BTC now. Time for altcoins. Let's go. Yeah, shout out to Lucas. Sometimes that's what happens, right? You get the push on Bitcoin, and then after we pull back or kind of just consolidate, that's where you do start to see the altcoins run. Let's see. How much of that goes to the tax man? Shout out to JR Ford. Dude, not a lot of people talk about that. A lot of it. Short-term capital gains tax is insane. Tax in general is insane. Pay your taxes. I pay my taxes. But, yeah, it is it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But, hey, still beats, having to, for me personally, right, I always say this. I think a lot of people, especially in the trading space, a lot of people really push, like, you shouldn't have a 9-to-5. Listen, like, I think that's a great thing for a lot of people. I think a lot of people prefer to do that. Trading is not for everybody. And, if you enjoy your job and, it's different if you have a job that you like and you have a work-life balance that you love. Like, that is, a lot of people, like, shame that for some reason. I think that's ridiculous. But yeah, I think it's just like personal preference. For me, I just knew that there was no way that I just like clock into a normal job every single day. Yeah, that's just me though. That's not everybody. But yeah, the short term, 40% short term. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Crab, man. That's insane. You make $1,000, keep pretty much keep half of it. Pretty crazy. But again, you don't have to put any physical labor in. There are perks to it as well. But yeah. Let's see. Shout out to Al Jr. said the level of humbleness, just 510 minutes, whatever, meh. I want that. LFG, shout out to CandleMafia, baby. Shout out to Al Jr. Yeah, I never mean to make it seem like, $500 is nothing. It's, but there is a time where, I would make $50 on a trade and feel like, that was crazy, right? It wasn't always like this. It was not always like this. Now I'm at a point where it's like, sometimes I stop out for $100, and that used to be a big trade to me, and now it's kind of like, I stopped out at like break even. But if I could do it, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. That's why I try to break down these charts in a simple manner. I try not to overcomplicate things because, it's nothing. I didn't go to school for this. I'm self-taught, right? Like it's not a, I don't ever mean to make it sound like that, but yeah, it's but if I could do it, you can do it. I promise you guys, and that's why I'm so passionate about coming up here and teaching you guys every single day, because I'm not special, right? Maybe that's humble. I'm not special. And I think you have to kind of approach life like that, right? Like if you want to be a CEO of some big company, just understand that CEO, he's a human too, right? He has problems on his plate that he doesn't know how to handle, right? Like the Coca-Cola CEO, right? Like sometimes he has a problem. He's like, man, I don't know what to do, right? Like everyone is human, and you do have to kind of just believe that, if someone else can do it, you can do it too. It just takes time and hard work, especially trading. It takes a long time to learn, but if you stick with it, guys, it's like a lot of people don't see is that like you might be able to do this, make a bunch of money really fast sitting at your desk, but like what a lot of people don't see is like the struggle, guys. Like the struggle is real, right? And if you're out there learning how to trade, that struggle. And if you're going through it, just know it's not because you're bad, it's not because you're stupid, it's not because it's just because to be good at anything, you have to be really bad at it first. And it's having that zero ego to understand like, okay, I'm bad at this, but if I work at it long enough, I'll be able to make it. And then eventually the end result is something like this where you're able to jump on the chart and make some money. Let's see. Shout out to Curtis Reese. Anything you can do, I can do better. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some of these altcoins. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. Continuing down here on Bitcoin, key level of support coming in. This could be, this would be a, let me go ahead and pull this volume profile here. Bear with me here. Okay, so potentially a local, I don't really love the range, but just take a look at this real quick. This is very likely not going to help us out. Yeah, okay. So we're losing that 786. Let's pull it to the bottom of the range. Start of the impulse. It might be the golden. Nope. All right. So we'll keep an eye on this. But yeah, might be able to get a little bit of a bounce here at this local value area low. Let's come down to the micro time frames. A little bullish divergence. 1 minute bull divs, nothing to really write home about. But you are at a value area low. Yeah, money flow, man, look at that. Bounce off the value area low. Money flow coming into the red on the 3-minute, 45-minute red dot printing. So yeah, we might be able to get a little bit of a bounce here. No real, like, super strong signals, right? I don't really typically take trades off of, like, a 1-minute bull div or bear div, but you might get a little bounce here at that key level of support. Would also be a nice little higher low. These would be the local levels that I'm looking at. Value area low sitting here at about 106,599. If we lose this, next key level will be this zone down here. Value area high between 106,000 and 105,832. But let's go ahead and jump on into, shout out to Golden, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Bitcoin. Well, not really ripping anymore. 50 memberships. Get it. Let's go. Shout out to Golden, baby. We appreciate you so much. Everybody gets a membership in the chat. I see them flying through here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to JS Stack says, Frankie, I hope your trade is not the best trade of all time, but 100% on the money per hour rate looking good. Yeah, shout out to J Stacks. Yeah, I'll be honest here, guys. Like, it's never that, like, when I short here, Sure, for that trade, I hope price goes down. I'm never wishing price goes down, right? Like I always want Bitcoin to go up. Sometimes people get a little tripped up. They're like, "Why is this guy so happy it's going down?" It's just because we're in that short position. We're making some money, right? But obviously, I always want Bitcoin to go up. 3-minute money flow crossing over into the red. 45-minute red dot. That could give us a little bit more of a continuation down, but we'll see if we can bounce off this local value area low. This is really the level that we want to hold locally. But while we wait for that, I'll put a alert here just in case we break that. But let's go ahead and we took a look at Ethereum already. I'm not really going to cover that anymore, just because we covered the key levels. If we do get a bigger breakout, whether we get the pullback to the POC or we hold this anchored VWAP, if we're able to hold this anchored VWAP, if we get that daily green dot to print on the daily, because that's where daily green dots print, 90-minute money flow is already in the green. I'll just kind of give you the if this then that for Ethereum. If we hold the anchored VWAP, get above that tapped monthly naked point of control, which we have already rejected. If we can get back above that, I really don't see much ahead of us other than the golden pocket sitting. I would call it about 3. Oh, baby. All right, I'm gonna maybe I should have dropped that a little bit lower. I was could just kind of deviate below that value area a little bit, but. If we do continue up, golden pocket, this still remains the next major level. This is the macro golden pocket when pulled from the high here all the way to the current low. Swing high to swing low, golden pocket retracement. Eventually, whether we get the pullback or not, again, if we hold that anchor VWAP and we come up first, golden pocket's going to be that next major level of resistance to look at, or just that next target to the upside. I feel like calling it resistance is like, it's negative, right? We'll just call it a target. Target makes it feel so much better, right? Like resistance is like, oh man, it's scary to go up there. But if it's target, it's like, hey, let's get up there. So yeah, golden pocket sitting about 3,000, excuse me, to $3,100. Let's check the, and then the only other thing that we have is a daily naked point of control just above that level, or just below that level at 29.79, right? Basically 3K. So between 3K and about 31.50 is that next zone for Ethereum. And I'll just put a purple box there just so we can remember that daily naked point of control is there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. In my opinion, if we are going to get that bigger move up, the daily green dot is probably the best thing that we have right now to look for. Even if we kind of slip down to that daily naked point of control, kind of bing bong around here, and then work our way up into that golden pocket. Could be nice, but at the end of the day, as long as we're able to hold above the POC and the value area low, long term, I do still think Ethereum is okay here, right? It's not like the most bullish chart ever. But yeah, those are the next key levels of support and the targets to the upside, and exactly what I'd like to see to get up there. All right, yeah, shout out to Golden, baby. Drop those golden emojis if you just got a membership. We got a bunch of them, but we did not get enough. Drop those golden emojis if you just got a Frankie Candles membership from your boy Golden, the most generous human being on earth. And I mean that. Let's see. Bing bong that like button. Yeah, I forgot to say, guys, smash that like button if you appreciate this free TA, and if you were in the live stream last night, seeing what we were looking for and seeing it play out today, smash that like button if you guys appreciate the free content. Bada boom, bada bing. Vegas Claw said Bitcoin's granny is getting drop kicked down the stairs. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Yeah, those all-time highs. Sometimes you can't get those quick rejections, but obviously a dangerous game to play. The gold is amazing, baby. Shout out to Joking Goat Giggles. Let's get it. Another goat in the chat. All right, let's see. Let's check in on some other altcoins here. I'll take a quick look at Solana, or Solanzo, as some people like to call it. We got that bounce off the golden pocket. I mean, still just hovering here, guys, above key support on just hovering above key support on Solana. Yeah, value area high still remains that biggest level. If we can remain above here, we're kind of just in between these two value areas. This is technically 166.83 is your doorway to lower prices. If we get stuck in here, we've already tapped this golden pocket, so it's not as important to me, but we do still have the bottom of this golden pocket sitting there. If we lose that, we're going to be anticipating the 786 POC value area high of the previous range down here, and that's going to be your next key level, and then underneath that, still the POC is going to be a big level to look at if we break back down into this range. Other than that, I do think if you're able to hold above this value area high, even if you kind of slip it, get back above, similar to Bitcoin, right? Like, you can't always expect a value area, right? The context of the market is very important. Money flow is in the green. VWAP is coming up. That green dot could print soon. So, it's not necessarily a situation where as soon as you lose that value area high, you're instantly expecting POC and value area low. But it's important to understand these big levels to the downside, so you don't lose track of kind of what's happening, right? Because if you pull back to that golden pocket, right, you pull back to the 786, like, oh my God, super bearish, right? But if you're just going to continue to hold those higher lows and higher highs, this could be an area to look at, right? And that green dot is going to be the signal that I would look for to start. That's our best next chance to get a bigger move up here on Solana. Key level to the upside downside, doorway to higher prices, 183.91. That's going to be the big level to watch. To the upside, flip that to support, push it up into the, after that, right, reclaim 183.91. The next target to the upside is going to be the POC. I'll actually drag this purple box down to the POC, sitting at 216.87. Simply put, right, we're just kind of bing-bonging around between these two value areas. So it's like, I wouldn't say losing this is like mega bearish, right? But, of course, you hope in the most bullish case you hold the value area high, reclaim, and then come up. But we'll have to see what happens. It's important to know the context here. So, yeah, honestly, if we're lucky enough to get a bigger pullback here on Solana, I may even buy some Solana on the spot. Bitcoin getting another push to the downside. Okay, value area high has now become the next key level of support. Let's go ahead and drop another alert here so we can keep an eye on things. Bada boom. Check on the trade real quick. Up another $2,400. Profits locked in. I'm going to move that stop loss down just a little bit. Bada boom. So now if we get stopped out, I'll get stopped out in even more profit. Not too shabby. Not too shabby here. Not too bad. Man, oh, good Lord. We would really kind of want to hold this low, to be quite honest with you. Getting very close to that value area high. Woohoo, baby. Oh, good Lord. All right, let's see. Somebody wanted to see Link. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Curtis Reese, says donates 50 each day. Yeah, shout out to Golden. Absolutely insane, bro. Golden, where did you come from? We're so happy we found you, bro. We're so happy we found you. I don't like that beat. Price goes down. Shout out to Jet Stacks. I know, yeah. Try setting alerts in your sleep, and then you hear that. I used to, like, wake up to fake TradingView alerts and be like, I just heard beep, beep, beep. And then I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, that was just in my head. Important to sometimes take a step away from the charts, guys. You don't want to be waking up on false TradingView alerts. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. ICP, Golden the GOAT, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Golden, bro. Shout out to Golden. Dump, dump, dump. We're going to crash. No alt season. Idiots. Shout out to Fussy. I mean, I guess not impossible, but yeah, not really what I'm expecting. Let's see. Isaac Newton, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, why are we still so correlated with the stock market? Shout out to Isaac Newton. I mean, we've always been correlated with the stock market, right? Actually, in my 2025 prediction video, I actually did compare the S&P to the Bitcoins, and actually just overlaid it onto the Bitcoin price action, and it's uncanny, right? Like, it literally just, every time we've had a Bitcoin bull market, the stock market's been ripping. Every time we've been in a bear market, the stock market's been dumping. Bitcoin tracks traditional finance, right? And it has been that way. If you go check out my Bitcoin 2025 video, you can actually see it overlaid. But yeah, it's just not to be, it's expected, right? So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if the stock market nukes, right, obviously Bitcoin's going to follow, right? That's why there's never going to be 100% chance. That's why, that's why I always say, like, if you ever hear, whether it's an influencer or a friend or just anybody, you're talking to about crypto, like anyone who is super, super, super decisive with like no real reason to look for something, they're just like, that's it. Like a lot of people down here is like, idiots, bear market. It's the bear market, you morons. It's like, yeah, like, I don't know, like super confident. And like, as someone who's been looking at the charts for so many years, I've been through 3 crypto cycles, like, there's just no way to be that confident about that. And that's why I stick to the charts, right? Because the only reason I was confident about this being a bull market, right, not getting scared here, and just sticking to my bullish sentiment. Like I do not fall in the camp that this is the bear market. I would be expecting a potential higher low and a higher high. Now, obviously, we cover the bearish case because we don't know what's going to happen. As someone who's been trading for very, very long, someone who's been in multiple cycles, I have been shocked and humbled by the market so many times that I understand it does not matter, even if the TA says it, right? Like, we have reasons to look for the bounce here. We waited for this key level. We saw the bullish divergences. There was a reason to look for that, at least the retracement to the golden pocket, where we reanalyzed price, saw money flow in the green, looked for higher prices, got them, and we wound up being correct about that. And it's not just because I said, this is 100% the bull market, 0 chance of a bear market. We're definitely going up. Although that was a strong bias, right? We understand that, like, hey, listen, like, we could have broken down here as well. And that's why trading is always an if this, then that statement. But there was really no reason to expect that to be a bear market. And I do think, like, as we've been saying, the most max pain situation here, I think, is higher. A lot of people down here, the bears, are very mad right now, probably, because anyone who thought this was the bear market is waiting for a pullback, and it's just not coming, right? And maybe it will come, but I do think, like, a lot of the bears are going to be, very aggressive or very upset, right? Because, I do think the Max Payne situation here is to the upside, which helped us keep that bullish bias, right? It's like, what's the Max Payne situation? The market loves to hurt as many people as possible. And if you were around during this dump, the overall sentiment in the crypto space was like, oh my God, this is very scary. A lot of people hated it. Everyone thought it was the bear. No, I don't want to say everyone, right? But like a lot of people, it's not very often that I get messages and DMs and a lot of chats that's like, is this the bear market? And I'm just like, well, hey, just, when in doubt, zoom out, right? Like the only thing I do is nothing really like that spectacular that I did, right? Like I just understand low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. Higher, low was 100% able to come in there, right? And that's just what we looked at. It's nothing like super advanced, just market structure, right? And, understanding the cycles. We also do have the 2-day green dot printing here, which is nice to see. And another monthly green dot printing. I don't know why I said 2-day. 2-day green dot is also printing. But another one of the big signals that we've been looking at is that monthly green dot, which has been printing for a little while now. And almost every green dot that we've seen has been a big leg to the upside, right? Doesn't mean it has to guaranteed be the case, right? But, green dot here, massive move up. Right? Green dot here, massive move up. And I would never just trade that, obviously. But like even here, green dot, next leg up. Green dot, are we going to get a next leg up? I mean, it's happened many times in the past. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Just to kind of walk you guys through why my sentiment always just remained stable here. Now, if we had broken massive market structure, there were levels down here where we would flip more bearish. But just where we were in the market, it just didn't seem like it was over to me based off the charts and just where we were in the cycle. Let's see. Why did you take the short? Shout out to, Groig? Shout out to you, bro. I don't know if I said your name right. But actually, if you scrub back just a little bit, I explained why I took that short. Definitely a dangerous short to take, but was not for no reason. We had an SFP at the high, some low time frame bearish divergences. I took the quick short. We got the dump. I moved my stop loss right at the break even pretty much immediately. And, here we are. Not too shabby. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, so let's take a quick look at Link. I saw a couple of people asking for Link. If you guys want to see some altcoins, I'm not going to look. Shout out to BJK said, at the bears, it's a bull market. Yeah, definitely a bull market, 100%. And I know a lot of people, right, just be aware of this, guys. I know a lot of people are probably thinking that the bull market is just starting right now. In my case, in my humble opinion, right, like we are not just starting the bull market here, right? Like the bull market was started here, right? We have been in a bull market for quite some time. Doesn't mean that we can't have much more upside, right? But I wouldn't say the bull market is just starting here, right? I would say maybe the next leg up is just starting. Maybe we're about to go into the crazy parabolic part of the bull run. But again, a lot of the gains, right, on Bitcoin at least, like just, assume that we go up to, say, 200K, right? If we went up to 200K, that is 88% from here, right? So, it's what the importance of buying in bear markets when there's fear in the market. You could turn that 80% if you're buying at 100K. You could turn that 88% to 978%, right? So I wouldn't say we're just getting started here. But if we break these highs, we could be up to those next targets, 112 to 114, 124K potentially to those targets that I talked about earlier in the stream. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at Link. And yeah, Chainlink. Let's see here. So obviously we've gotten above the value area low, POC. We're above the POC. We've tapped into the local golden pocket retracement. We do still have the 786 in confluence with the POC here. So I would say, right, we have a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. As long as we hold above that POC, it looks pretty good. And just in terms of the volume profile, the laws of the volume profile do state, get above the value area low. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. Get above that POC. Next likely place for price to go is the value area high. Now, obviously, we do have some local resistance here, so it's not always just a straight shot, as I always say. But, continue holding those higher lows. We could just kind of continue the journey into that value area high. We don't know exactly what the structure will look like, but over time, you do anticipate that. I always bring up XRP when I explain this because it was the same thing on XRP, right? Whoops. XRP is like, hey, you get above the value area low, front run the POC. Oh my God, the value area is not going to play out. Never mind, it is. It is oftentimes a very annoying kind of confusing thing. But again, low, high, higher low, higher high, right? Eventually, you look to get up to that value area high, and what happens? You push up in there, you get some bearish confirmations, and we're still holding above this golden pocket that we looked at yesterday. Key level on XRP still sitting down here at about 221, down to about 220. Not too shabby, right? Even if we pull down to that 786. Now, the one thing I don't love about this that's different about Link is still on its approach to the potential value area high. XRP has already come up to the value area high, and we are now we're losing that POC from the top of the range. So just generally, based off the volume profile, just like we look from the low, from value area low, POC, value area high, when you reject the high, you could look at it as value area high, POC. The expected play out of this volume profile would be to eventually get down to the value area low. But again, context is king, right? So as long as we're able to hold the uptrend here, right, we could potentially not see the volume profile play out. That's why you can't just use one tool and stick to one thing. There's never going to be a magic bullet, red dot, green dot, buy, sell indicator. You have to understand the context of the market. That's why I'm looking at this daily naked point of control 786 as such a key level, right? Because this would enable you to continue those higher lows for a potential breakout of the range. And if you lose it, then you could potentially look for the move down to the value area low. So yeah, other than that, like XRP remains the same as yesterday. Daily green dot, potentially looking to come in here pretty soon. So, maybe we lift off from the golden pocket. If we get a little bit more of a pullback, this would be the ideal place, in my opinion, to bounce if we get a bigger pullback. And then maybe that green dot prints and pushes you back up. Money flow on the daily on XRP is a little bit wonked out here, right? But we spent a lot of time in the red, fake out into the green, fake out into the green. Hopefully we can come up into that bigger green wave and eventually see some of these altcoins run. I know the altcoin market has been pretty lackluster, guys. It's been the Bitcoin show so far, for sure. Just throughout this entire run, pretty much. Let's see. Shout out to Curtis Reese says, I place a trade and I kiss my lucky egg. Shout out to Kelly, dude. Thank you for getting that membership. Welcome to the muscle, my dude. Okay, so let me just see some of these. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Virtuals. Okay, so yeah, we took a look at Link. I think that's pretty clear cut here, right? And again, the reason why, I would say XRP is a little bit more, or why Link looks a little better is just because we're approaching, we're above the POC from the value area low, right? We're not at the POC from the high. When you're coming from the high, deviation above, this is where you want to look for shorts, right? Get back into the range. POC, the expected continuation of that trend is to fill that range in full. That's why Link looks a little bit better, right? Because you're expecting that full fill of the range eventually to come to the value area high, where XRP is coming from the high, right? But again, it doesn't mean it has to go to the value area low. It's why I cover the 786 and the daily naked point of control on XRP that I want to hold to put in that higher high, the higher low. I'm sorry. So yeah, let's see. ICP. Jesse's number one again. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, shout out to Dean. Says, amazing how quick it could turn from bearish to bullish. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's why you never want to get like overly bearish at the lows or overly bullish at the highs. And that's why a lot of times I'm very contrarian, guys. Just as a trader, and again, it's not necessarily that I shorted this all-time high expecting zero. I want to be very clear about that, right? If it happens, I will let it hit me by surprise. But the trend is still bullish here. So, until proven otherwise, maybe that short turns into that single double turns into an absolute grand slam. But again, the context here is still bullish. That's why I'm always contrarian most of the time, right? When we push up, that's where you're looking for shorts. The only thing you can look for on a push up like that is shorts. Could you just FOMO long? Yes. But this is kind of like a perfect example of why it's not really a good idea, right? Like, sure, once in a while, can you FOMO into a long at the all-time high and get it to play out? Sure. But over time, it's not going to be a repeatable strategy. So, oftentimes, if you're out there trading, just understand it goes against your human psychology. When price goes up, that's where you want to look for shorts, even if your bias is to continue, right? You can't really, I'm never really looking for longs at a push up, except for this week. I actually did take, or over the weekend, I did take a breakout trade, but based off very specific conditions being met, right? You can't just see price break a level in long. You have to look at the order flow and understand kind of what's going on behind the candlesticks. Looking at the volume, understanding that you're going to be able to thrust through that high and push up. So you can take breakout trades, but you have to be looking, in my opinion, at the order flow or at least just the volume. So yeah. Typically, that's why you don't want to get bullish at the highs or bearish at the lows. You could be bullish, right? But it's not just you want to buy low, sell high, right? Not buy high and try to sell higher. You could do that, but it's just not as high probability, right? You want to buy cheap, sell expensive. So yeah, let's continue on here. Let's take a quick look at. We took a look at Link. Let's take a look at virtuals. I saw a couple people asking for that. I actually do have a virtuals chart here, and yeah, virtuals is one of those alts that is approaching its value area low, very similar to H-bar that we looked at yesterday. We have come up resistance until proven otherwise. We tried to reclaim, played around with it, but we are sitting here at our doorway to higher prices. right? If you're able to hold, this is the biggest key level that you want to either hold, or if you lose it, like that's the level that if reclaimed and you're able to hold support. I mean, even here, right? You close multiple daily candles and you still lost it. But this is the level that if we could hold that support, the next target for virtuals, in my opinion, would be this POC. Let me just make that a little bit more accurate there. Would be sitting at about $2.61. I almost said $261. So yeah, a lot of altcoins are kind of in this situation. So now, as far as levels to the downside, we don't really have any like clear previous volume profiles that we can pull. Like even this is like, just kind of trending down. So yeah, like this is like really that next value area. You really just want to get stuck inside this range to continue that move up from the value area low to the POC, flip it, go to the high long term. Coming down to some of those, and yeah, green dot is already confirmed here on virtuals. 2-day green dot is looking to print, so that could be the next thing to give us that push up through the range. I try to get some local levels here, even though like the only real local levels I can look at here, which I would probably be more inclined to just keep an eye on the bigger value area low. But if we go ahead and we pull this sideways range, you could see you got your value area low sitting, pretty much near the macro value area low, sitting at about $1.87. It's the secret signal, guys. Virtual is going to $186. I'm just kidding. $1.87 value area low. Like these are really the only local profiles that I can look at. Like maybe even this. Let me just see something here. So yeah, I would say this is probably going to be a key level down here. We have a weekly MPOC there. Give it to me. No. Monthly MPOC? Nope. Probably a daily in there. Yeah, so you do have a daily MPOC sitting right here, which makes sense. Golden pocket value area low. This would be a... We do have some confluence sitting down here, sitting between about 165 and 158. 786 sitting just below at about $1.47. But yeah, I would say like the local levels are a bit harder to look at here. You also do have a daily naked point of control sitting right. Whoops. Give me that daily naked. You also have one right here at your local value area low. See what I have here. Hide those MPOCs real quick. So yeah, I mean locally, hyper locally, you got the $1.83 MPOC value area low confluence. Yeah, if you get the bigger pullback, this is probably going to be that bigger. Not even really. We've already. No, this is low key tapped. Yeah, this MPOC is low key tapped. I'm getting rid of that. TradingView didn't mark it as hit, but that is low key touched. So yeah, you do still have the golden pocket. It's still, an okay zone, but we've kind of already gotten the bounce off of it. So let me actually pull this. Yeah, so this would be more of the level I would look at, right? Golden pocket, value area low, daily naked point of control. And let me just hide the larger profile. So these would be the local levels I would look at. So let me clean it up so make it a little bit more clear for you guys. So these would be the more local levels. This golden pocket is not tapped, so that's why I'm going to keep that box there. But we did tap the naked point of control to put in the higher low. Yeah, so locally I would look at this, right? Value area low. Whoops. Come on. Yeah, value area low, daily naked point of control, golden pocket, $1.86 to $1.81, 78. Golden pocket, daily naked point of control, value area low. Yeah, that is sitting between $1.86, $1.81, 786 sitting at $1.75. These are the local levels you would want to hold for an aggressive continuation, right? Deviate below the low, reclaim, macro value area low, and then send it up through the bigger profile. And let me just go ahead and drop this into a folder so I can easily hide it. Grab this one. Bada boom. Right, so these would be the local levels. I know this is looking a little bit messy, but yeah, value area low, golden pocket sitting down here, POC sitting at about $1.95, and then the value area high sitting at $2.10. And then, but again, the overall context here, without looking at all those nitty gritty levels. What's up with this volume profile? Just won't want to get in here. Yeah, larger kind of macro levels I would be looking at is going to be this value area low. Hold above that. We could look up through there. But if you lose this value area low, you can look at the local levels. But yeah, I mean, long term, you could play around with this value area low a little bit. These are the major levels to the upside I'd be watching. 261 POC, $3.34 value area high. Let's see. Shout out to Nirvana said, does being #1 give us free crypto? Is YouTube just dishing out free crypto to the top chatters, to the top mafia? Let's see. 102K next. 102K next. I mean, listen, not for not in the I wouldn't want that for Bitcoin, but would be nice for the short. Okay, we're back inside our local value area. And we'll see what happens here. Money flow trying to come back up here on the 1 minute. Money flow coming back up on the 5. 12-minute green dot printing. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we kind of bing bong around in this range. I will say this. Nice that we didn't break this low. It is very nice that we did not break this low. So we'll see. Are we going to hold this local value area, push back up to the POC and the value area high? We'll see what happens. Let's put an alert. But there we go. All right, so we took a look at virtual. Let's take a quick look at ICP. We haven't taken a look at ICP in quite some time. Double top bear market started. Shout out to Matthew. I mean, if that is the case, I shorted the tippy top. But yeah, not. I don't really fall in that. I don't necessarily fall in that camp right this second. But we'll see. We'll see. It is also crazy how yeah, it's like super bullish, and now we're like dumping, and it's like super bearish, right? The emotion is crazy. The emotion is crazy. But yeah, let's take a quick look at ICP. Let's see. Okay, so we barely front ran that golden pocket. Let me see where this is pulled from. Yeah, it's pulled to this high. Actually, no, it's probably pulled to this high. Yeah, barely front ran that golden pocket. What is here, though? We must have had some level there. Local value area. So, yeah, got back in, value area low, POC, tap into the high. So, yeah, I would say locally, let's hide the bigger levels here. I would say locally on ICP, let's just zoom out a little bit and get our bearings here. Yeah, I mean, you're just within your local range. You got above the low, went to the high. You're back to the POC. Now, if you lose the POC, value area low would be your key level of support to hold. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you're kind of just consolidating down here, right? We had the big drop. Well, I guess you can call, I guess you had the big drop here from November or around November, December. 72% down. I mean, this is the range you want to remain in, right? As long as maybe you bing bong around in here. Just make this a little, let me cram this over to the side a little bit. Just make the chart bigger. So, yeah, I mean, this is your local range. Maybe you kind of bing bong around in here. I would say 786 sitting right here at about $6.75 is the doorway to eventually come up and start testing your next upper profile, which this would be your next doorway to higher prices or the value area low. What's good with that? Oh, it's on the rectangle. That's why. But yeah, let me get the actual line. There we go. Doorway. I can't get that line. What the heck is going on here? There we go. Doorway to higher prices. Value area low. Bada boom. So yeah, I would say this 786, just like on Bitcoin, guys. Just like on Bitcoin. You know, what we don't want to do here is put in a lower high and then a lower low, just like continuing dumping to the downside. If you break that 786, it invalidates that thought process and gives you the ability to push up into your value area low at 753, flip that to support. Your next price always seeks fair value. You had fair value in here. You have some kind of fair value in here. You have fair value in here. And this is typically where you see price respect, right? When price leaves a value area, it goes to the next value area. More often than not, it will retrace or dump or pump into a previous area of balance, right? So when you impulse out of here, where are you going to look? You're going to look within this other volume profile that you have up here, right? So you're looking at this as your range, and you're saying, well, hey, if we do come down there or come up there, if we break out of this range, we're going to look to come get accepted where, right? This is the beauty of auction market theory. It's like, hey, if we impulse out of here, flip this value area low to support, the next roadmap for price, and I just don't know a better tool to use, look at the flip of the value area. I just drew this. Value area low, get in, flip it to support, POC, And you can see you almost wick directly into this POC before getting a cool off, back to the low, and then you come up where? Back to the value area high. Where do you get the bigger rejection? After deviating above your high, getting back into the range, and then you go back to your value area low. And then once you impulse out of here, you come back into your range, POC, get stuck in the value below the value area high, back to the low. And then once you lose here, where are you going to get accepted? Back into this previous area of balance. We lose the range, we get stuck back in, back to the low, back to the high, deviation, accepted back in, back to the high, and now we're just sitting in this range, right? Just to give you an idea of how this auction market theory works and why I love using volume profiles so much, it gives you those big magnetic areas on price where things are going to get attracted to. And not only that, but it gives you the beautiful high probability zone to look for trades, right? Longs at the low, shorts at the highs. So yeah, I maybe you bing bong around in here. I would not really want to lose this value area low, but as long as you kind of just bing bong around in here, you're just looking to eventually break above that 786. To then get the impulse out of that range. And where is price likely going to go? If you impulse out of this value area, where is price going to go? In balance, it is going to seek out balance or fair value within your previous profile. So if we get the breakout above that 786, it opens the doorway to come seek out this previous value. So there you go. Some free sauce for the Mafia looking at auction market theory. Yo, shout out to Tom Crown. Let's go, baby. Everybody say what's up to Tom Crown in the chat. Good to see you in here, bro. I hope you're doing well. And let's go. It's always a good day when Tom Crown is in the chat. Drop those crowns in the chat for our boy. Let's go. Flexing that wrench. Let's get it. Let's see. Yeah, let's get it. Everybody shouting out Tom. Let's go. Tom, what are you thinking, bro? What are you thinking? Let me know. You think we're going to bounce? Do you think we're going to dump? Do you think the bear market is here, Tom? Let me know. Let me know. What do you think, bro? Bada boom, bada bing. Something tells me ETH is going to mega dump after whatever high it reaches this cycle. Yeah, shout out to Codon. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I listen, I try so hard, guys, to keep my bias out of this. I hold a lot of ETH, right? But that is not a reason for me to just hope it goes up, right? If anything, if I hold a lot of something, let's say I have a big bag of Ethereum, for example, right? I try to be more conservative, right? Because obviously if I hold a lot of a bag, a lot of something, right? You're going to have some kind of emotional bias for that to go up, right? Because you want to make money. But you have to identify the emotion, right? And then think, does this match up with what's logically happening on the chart? So I don't really see Ethereum, right? I'm not saying Ethereum's going to be number 2 forever. I'm not saying even Ethereum has to be around forever. I don't know. I don't see, if we go into a traditional alt season, right? I don't see all the alts pumping and ETH not moving, right? Or ETH not making a new all-time high. I think it's a pretty safe bet. Not financial advice. I could be wrong. I fully understand that. I'm willing to take the risk that I'm taking. But yeah, it has been struggling. It definitely has been struggling. There's no doubt about that. But again, just looking at the higher time frames on Ethereum, guys, hiding all the nitty-gritty levels, right? I really hope that a lot of these key levels don't confuse everybody. But if you just keep in mind your volume profiles, just when I say when in doubt, zoom out, right? If we're even on Bitcoin, right? When we got the big dump, right? When we got the big dump from the all-time high, right? And we came down here. It's oh my God, this is scary. Although we anticipated this, we knew we had liquidity below and a key Fibonacci level down here. But just zoom out, right? It's oh my God, this is terrible. This is so scary, right? And it is, right? You come down, say 32%, but zoom out, right? You're just saying, well, hey, bullish market structure. We're not breaking anything too key here on the higher time frames. In the same way that you can, when you're in doubt, you can zoom out. When in doubt, when you get overwhelmed by all the levels, right? You could just look at your simple volume profile, right? You're not going to know if you're going to pull back from, you don't know what you're going to reject here. If you're just looking at the volume profile, you might look at this and say to yourself, I'm expecting an eventual continuation through this volume profile, right? You could just say that, right? But when you see this dump, you might be what the heck, why are we dumping? That's why the intermediary, the more local levels and looking at all the, super details is important, right? Because it's important to know what you're rejecting here. And if you're anticipating a pullback from this level, it's a little less scary than just getting a dump through the level and wondering what's happening. And if you're just looking at the volume profile, you're saying, well, hey, as long as we remain above the value area low, we could still continue up. And right now, right, I know I do this all the time, but I think it's for good reason, right? Stay above the low, POC value area high. Get above the high, go back into the range, can't get back out, POC value area low. Get back above the POC, back up to the high, deviate the high, back into the range, can't get out, POC value area low. I actually front ran the low here slightly. What happens? Eventually you do continue back down, you deviate below. At this point, we are back in to the macro value area. All right, so like you're just using that as like, well, hey, as long as we stay in here, we could potentially keep our move to the upside, right? But by looking at all those intermediary levels, you would know, right? We knew that we were probably going to get some resistance at this key level right here. Why? Because it was a monthly naked point of control, right? So it makes the dump a little less scary. We're not saying to ourselves, just because we lost this value area massively in 2022, that, you know, once we come up here, we're not saying, well, hey, this is super bearish because Ethereum dumped 80%, right? We're not saying like, well, there's no way it's going to come back up. We're just going to say, hey, if we get back in that range, we're looking to the high. It's the same thing here, right? So yeah, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. More all-time highs this year, in my opinion. Yeah, shout out to Tom. That's my base case as well, bro. That's my base case as well. And you just gave me a little extra confidence, bro. Shout out to Tom Crown, one of the best analysts out there and traders out there. Let's go. Shout out to Henny. What is going on? Welcome in. Says, good day to all. Shout out to you, man. Welcome in. Shout out to Brandy Tech. Says, can you show us where to get Market Cipher and how you set it up with those colors? Shout out to Brandy Tech. This is Market Cipher B. This is a paid indicator. You could use our link if you want to save 20%. It does help out the channel, obviously. But yeah, this is like one of the best indicators you could possibly use. I've been using this before I had a YouTube channel, before I ever knew Crypto Face. Market Cipher is 100% one of the most goated indicators you could possibly use. It's not going to tell you exactly when to buy and sell, but it is like this is like a huge part of my analysis. So you can get it at Market Cipher. You can click the link in the description down below if you want to try it out. If you check out the beginner series, I believe I have a Market Cipher tutorial on there that shows you how to use it, as well on how I change my colors as well. So there you go. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. I don't know how many likes we have right now, but let's run it up as high as we possibly can. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all this saucy TA. Crypto Arrow says new all-time high by December. Let's go. Maybe. Yo, shout out to D Nice. Shout out to D Nice. Can you stop yelling randomly every 30 seconds? You just woke up my daughter. I'm trying to watch. Shout out to D Nice. It's time to start the ASMR TA, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to wake up your daughter, but I am a screamer here. Well, you know, I do scream a lot, I should say. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's take a look at some other altcoins here. Let's see. Yo, my YouTube app crashed when we were spamming the crowns. Shout out to Tom Crown there. Not every creator can hop into a chat and crash people's YouTube apps. Shout out to Tom Crown. Let's go. Yo, you guys are crazy. Let's see. Shout out to Pitbull, said, bro, ask Frankie to stop screaming. Yeah, that's like trying to tell a human to stop breathing. Let's see. All right. ICUP. Shout out. God, man, we look at so much stuff. We did just look at ICP. Did we finish that TA? Yeah. Yeah, we did. Okay, and then you have the local value area up here, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? Obviously, you do have the upper value area over here. Maybe on ICP, if we hide this real quick, let me just clean this up a bit. Just hide this. See something here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that larger range, to be honest. I would rather look at them like this. So yeah, you do have the upper profile up there as well. Value area low starting at about 1071. Eventually, at some point, that will become your value area, your doorway to higher prices. But again, it's still a little too soon to look up there. Like let's work our way up there, right? Let's get above this one first, and then we can start looking up towards the upper value. But you know, again, when you're looking at the charts in terms of the volume profiles, guys, in terms of auction market theory, at the end of the day, you're just looking to rotate value. If we lose here, right? Actually, you didn't have a. Yeah, you didn't really have a. Actually, you pretty much did have that previous. Nah, not really. You didn't really have a previous value area there, right? When price leaves value, guys, it could do a few things, right? And I'll just drop this quick little sauce for anyone looking to learn, right? When price ranges 80% of the time, right? That's why I love the value areas, because not only does it help you understand where there might be previous ranges in the market, right? Which can help you understand where price will go next, right? Because these value areas will act as magnets, right? So if you lose this range, you're going to be looking down more often than not. Price can do one of a few things, right? It's either going to leave value more often than not, I would say. It seeks previous fair value, which would be in a previous range, right? Can you guys see this? And then you look to get back into the range, and then you start respecting that value, right? If you impulse back out, you're probably going to get accepted back into this value, right? But price can also create new value, right? So like, let's say we don't have any value built in here. It's just like a big rip to the upside. Sometimes price will make new balance, right? Or shout out to the sneakers, new value, right? And that's kind of what we just saw on ICP. But more often than not, I would say a majority of the time, it will seek out previous value, right? Likes to go to those like well-known high volume areas, right? So, you know, again, right? Like if we impulse, you know, again, you lose this range, you're probably going to come in here. You do, right? You respect all those levels. And like, look how, it's not just like, you know, you go generally, right? Like you get back into the range, you come in, you retest the value area high, you can't get out, POC, value area low. Bearish retest on the value area low. At that point, you're looking to come back down into this previous balance, and that's where price is right now, right? Very, very simple way to look at the market, especially like longer term. And then you have, because price ranges so much, right? You have the opportunity to look for longs at the lows, shorts at the highs, potential longs at the lows. This would have been a really sketchy trade, but you know, more often than not, you were going to respect those. You could day trade the ranges, right? And then eventually, once you break out, you have those beautiful longer term targets. So yeah, key level on ICP is going to be 675. That's your doorway into your upper value, or doorway to approach your upper value, break above the value area low. That's your doorway to higher prices. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Every like we get, shout out to Blind Wanderer, says every like we get, Frankie will pump the price of Bitcoin. $100. Mrs. Candles, we're gonna have to load up the account. Go deposit this cash. And let me know, transfer it into Coinbase, and let's try to pump this thing. Anyway, let's see. Shout out to Peter. Says, I love you, Frank. Yeah, I love you back, Peter. Thank you for being here. What are the chances we're going back down to 101.3 value area low, flush out the longs, and then maybe go back up? Let's go check back into let's go back into the, take a look at Bitcoin real quick. All right, let's see here. Yeah, just clinging on to that value area low. 15-minute green dot looking to print. 24, 30-minute VWAP attempting to roll up. $101,000 value. Okay, so you're talking about the scalp range down here, I assume. Yeah, so this value area for me would be sitting right, and the reason I have it pulled and stopped here is because this is where we got the breakout, right? So I only want to look at the area of balance, right? So I'm marking this out because that's the previous area of balance, where you would say, hey, if you're going to break out, you want to hold that value area high as support. If you break back in, you would look to go back down to the low. So this would be the value area low I would look at. Hide this golden pocket 786. Value area low 102,578. I mean, I'll tell you this, right? Like, key level of support right now is still the macro value area high. It's not until we lose this level and get stuck back in here that I would even look down towards this value area. But let's just say we did come back down here, lose the value area high, break to the POC, break to the value area low. Yeah, I would much prefer to hold the value area high at 105,857. Could you come down here and sweep liquidity? Let's take a look at the heat map really quickly. Let's pull it up on Bitcoin. Let me just load this up real quick. Let's see. Yo, shout out to RS Miller said, today's title is Frankie Goes to the Moon. I'm just wearing a spacesuit. All right, let's see here. So taking a look at the liquidity heat map here real quick. As we know, this does act as a magnet for price, these high liquidity areas. You can see here, we look at this up here. We sweep that liquidity, get the cool off. We do have some of that liquidity sitting below about $102,000. This is not guarantee that we must come down here. There is a lot of liquidity, but it does not guarantee. Let me actually tune this up a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's like the most extreme. We do have a little liquidity down there. There's much more down at 83K. Good Lord, hopefully we don't have to see that again. But yeah, I mean, there is some liquidity sitting down there. Anytime you have a sideways range like this, oftentimes you will build up some liquidity below and above, right? Like we did here. A lot of liquidity above. Everybody was looking to short the top of this, so you have a lot of liquidity up here at the highs. You know, obviously people longing the bottom as well, but you did have much more liquidity at the top. Swept it, came back down. Yeah, I mean, you also do have a big chunk up here at about 125K. Yeah, I mean, you do have liquidity down there. It's going to be like if we get down there, I'll approach it, as price action develops. I wouldn't necessarily be looking at that as like we have to go down there kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, we have to lose the macro value area high first. Hopefully, right, to continue the aggressive uptrend, you would hope that you get hold above that value area high. We break back down in there. Again, we're just going to be looking down towards the local value area. And then as we approach that low, that's where we're going to be looking at that liquidity being like, well, hey, guys, and even at that point, to be honest, we get down there, we come back down to this value area low, deviate below the low, maybe we swing fail the bottom. I would still, you could use the local range as your guide for that long on the way up. As you're taking profit at the POC and the value area high on the way up, you can move your stop loss to break even. If it decides to continue back up in a massive way and put in a massive new all-time high, then you can, just let that little trade turn into a massive swing trade. But, that'd be we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Definitely not impossible. I just, again, it's just like you're back below your macro value area high. So it's like you do have to understand that you have resistance above. Doesn't mean you can't break out, right? But you just have to be aware of that kind of context. So yeah. Let's see. 84K liquidity. Shout out to CandleMafia's John Cena. Again, I want to be very clear. I don't know if we're going to go take that. It doesn't mean just because it's down there we have to take it. Again, that's going to be something that we're so far away from 84K at this point, right? Like I can't say like, hey guys, liquidity at 84K. We got to go take that, right? Like we've already gotten massive moves to the upside. If we do come down there, we'll pay attention to that liquidity. But yeah, I wouldn't say like it's going to suck. I wouldn't say that's the reason we would have to go down. Let's see. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Eddie. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. Says long on H bar, 19 cent entry. Cut it or more upside. Shout out to Eddie. We can take a quick look at H bar. Now, I can't tell you exactly what to do with your trade. I'm not a financial advisor or an investment advisor, just a TA guy, just screaming on YouTube here. But where is our H-bar chart? This is not it. Okay, yeah, so this is our H-bar chart. Again, I could give you my bias here, Eddie. Listen, it's very hard to say altcoin season, I feel like everyone calls for alt season all the time, and it's easy to fall into that trap, right? Every time Bitcoin gets a big pump, it's like, oh my God, alt season next. Like, you do want to always be aware of that and like ready for it to happen. But I would say, let's see. Again, I can't tell you what to do with your trade. You have to make your own financial decisions. Long at 19.5. Let's see. I'll check some lower time frames here. 30-minute. VWAP coming up. I mean, you are above your key level of support. Right now, the biggest levels of support on H-bar locally are going to be the value area low, right? Like I said, it's nice to see H-bar back inside its value area. If we can hold above that value area low, with the exception of potentially pushing down to the golden pocket anchored VWAP, right? We get up, we hold the anchored VWAP. If we get the push down to this golden pocket, that's nice confluence on the anchored VWAP golden pocket. Even the 786, I would prefer not to see the 786. I'd rather bounce off the golden pocket. But yeah, it's hard to say exactly what the structure will look like. But, right now you're above the value area low. As long as you can, even if you bing bong around here, as long as you can reclaim this, I would say the next target could be 25 cents. Now, it doesn't mean 25 cents right this second. It's very hard to say exactly what you have. A 4-hour red dot looking to print that could easily push you back down to the golden pocket or the 786. I would prefer to hold the anchored VWAP though, because oftentimes, guys, when you're in an uptrend like this, if you pull your anchored VWAP from the low of that actual downtrend, it is very often a very good place to be looking if you want the trend to continue, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, continue the uptrend, squeeze into the value area, and then if you're able to hold above there, that's where you can look for the POC. So I would say if you do pull back, this would be the big level I would want to hold. But yeah, I would have to, it's very hard. I don't know how high your leverage is. I don't know what the position size is. I don't know what your plan for the trade is. So it's kind of hard for me to give direct, exactly what you should look for. But that's what I would look for. This is the box. If we hold above this box and get back into this range, it looks good. If we start to lose the 786, that would be pretty bad in my opinion. I would probably look for a bigger pullback. But yeah, we actually covered this earlier. So hopefully that helps you out. I know you're probably hoping for me to just say cut it or hold it. But I can't say that, right? Because, And if I'm wrong, it's like, hey, you made me lose money. But you have to make your own trading decisions, and this is just my thought process. If I were in a long from 19 cents, my stop loss would, again, depending on the position size, the leverage, all that good stuff, the risk management, either like wouldn't want to lose the value area low, definitely wouldn't want to lose the golden pocket. But yeah, I mean, if it's a low leverage, low risk, you can maybe have a little bit of a deeper stop loss. But yeah, let's see. Daily green dot looking to print. Money flow also trying to continue up here, right? Like we're just putting in higher lows. Low, higher low, higher low. Looking for a crossover into the green. Even if you kind of bing bong around here, right? That money flow crosses into the green. The overall trend would be anticipated to be to the upside. And then using your volume profile for that guide for your next targets. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. I wish I could answer like more directly, but it's very difficult because every trade is different. But let's see here. Bada boom, bada bing. S&P dropped a bit. Pull it up over here. Actually, we haven't looked at the S&P. Yeah. So last time we looked at the S&P on the live stream, right, we were approaching the value area low, which was very nice, right? This was another reason why when we were looking at Bitcoin continuing its move up through the macro value area, we look at the S&P and we say, well, hey, we have the S&P testing its macro value area low, which was the doorway to higher prices, right? If the S&P gets in there, right, Bitcoin could potentially continue up as well. So, key support here on the S&P would be sitting right here at about 583. Stay inside this range. The next target, if we continue up and hold that value area low, would be the POC at 598. That would be good for Bitcoin, right? Unless we see just some kind of like complete decoupling of Bitcoin, crypto, and the stock markets, that would be kind of the anticipation. And we indeed did break above that. And we're holding above the value area low as of right now. You wouldn't really want to lose this, in my opinion, right? I'd like to stay inside this range. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's see. CRV, shout out to Wayne Mack. We can take a look at CRV real quick. Bada boom. Let's take a look here. I don't think I have a CRV chart running. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is pretty old, I believe. Yeah, so I can get rid of all this. This is an old range. I will keep that anchored VWAP from the all-time high. Whoops. Or not all-time high, but the recent high. This would be a big level to hold, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, reclaiming this anchored VWAP would be nice. And I will pull this local range. Not the same one that I had on the chart before, but I will extend it. This is your upper value. This is at least how I would mark it out, right? Value area low, POC, value area high. Came back up, obviously. So this on CRV, this is going to be a situation where, it's going to be a situation where the POC is really the doorway to higher prices. Most of the time, it's the value area low, but with the POC so close to the value area low, it's kind of this whole zone you want to get above, right? Anytime you have the POC and the value area low super close to the low or the high, you have to look at that as a zone, right? Because typically the value area low is resistance until proven otherwise, but when they're close like that, it's kind of this whole zone that's resistance until proven otherwise, right? Once you flip it to support, well, hey, there's no POC to target, right? It's just the value area high, which is nice if you can reclaim that POC. POC sitting at 81.35, 81 cents, right? Value area low sitting at 77 cents, and you are getting close. You are getting close to potentially coming back in there. Daily green dot is confirmed. 2-day green dot is looking to print. And again, the 2-day money flow on a lot of the altcoins, guys, is very likely going to be the big thing to look at for the potential bigger continuations up on the altcoins, right? And if we look at the low here, same thing we looked at, like, I don't even, last time we had like the massive correction on the altcoins, which is a long time ago. The 2-day bull divs on the altcoins is typically a very nice bottom signal, right? You have the 2-day bull div, lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, higher lows, and you start that bigger trend up. Money flow is now trying to trend to the upside. So if we get that green dot on the 2-day and we see this money flow start to cross over into the green, that would be a big, big sign that we could potentially get back into this range and continue up. Not too bad, right? And I don't know if it happened on CRV, but I know a lot of altcoins typically, like even here, you have lower lows on your price action. Was this a 2-day bull div or did you miss? Yeah, 2-day higher lows on your momentum waves, bullish divergence, Money flow, it wiggles around a little bit, right? But money flow works its way up. 2-day money flow crossover happens right here. Massive move to the upside. I would look for something similar here on curve at this point, right? That 2-day money flow crossover is likely going to start that bigger move, as it typically does. Like, not even for the big moves, right? But like even here, right? 2-day money flow crossover. Big move up. 2-day money flow crossover. Didn't get a big move up, but you still get the push to the upside, right? So yeah, I mean, more often than not, you will see that. Like even here, you don't really get it. You get the 2-day money flow crossover. Technically, you did get another higher high, but it was kind of already peaked out here. But again, context is king. This was in 2023. We were still kind of like in that bear market territory. But yeah, just showing that those 2-day bull divs with money flow coming up oftentimes is a pretty decent bottom signal. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Let's go. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Welcome on in, Candle Mafia Mama. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. Oh boy. Oh my God. Bitcoin ripping back to the upside. Good Lord. Okay, never mind. I overreacted, guys. That was the local target. But again, right, in real time, looking at that value area low as the key level of support. Are we going to make it up towards that POC? Maybe we're going to come up and tap that POC value area high. Right? Again, just kind of showing, right? You have a little bit of value here. It's kind of a sketchy range, to be honest. But once you come back down, you might come in and respect your previous value area. And then hopefully we can break out, right, and go back up to all-time highs. But yeah, there we go. Anyone here from the beginning of the stream just to show, right? I don't show it's to brag or anything. I just show it to teach, right? Like, come to the value area low, right? Again, 1-minute bull div, not something that I would necessarily take a gig along off of, but like, hey, you get below the low, right? You have bullish divergences into the value area low, right? I'm not always trading the 1 minute like this, but just to kind of show how the volume profiles work on any time frame. The daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly, the over the bull runs, right? Like, you can look at value areas no matter what. Here we are in the 1 minute. You have your value area here. Just change this. These gold lines are bothering the heck out of me. POC, value area low, right? What happens? You deviate below the low, bullish divergences, back into the range, hold the low. POC would be the next target. Flip the POC, value area high would be next. If you break out here and you start impulsing with above, right, through what I would consider a pretty big low volume gap, right? Quick move up equals quick move down, right? If I pull up the VPVR, we might be able to actually see this. There's that low volume gap. I'll even just zoom in on the price action that we're analyzing here. Yeah, I mean, you do. Interesting. Where is that coming from? Come on, volume. Okay, there we go. I don't know where this big chunk of volume is coming from, but I would have assumed that this was just a massive gap. You do have that spike in volume, which is interesting. But if you break out of here and we start impulsing through here, you would expect to go where, right? And again, this is like, pretty local, but just to kind of understand how the markets can move based off the volume profiles is like, well, hey, we do also kind of have a value area up here. So if you impulse out of here, you might come on up into this range, right? Fly through the low volume area, back into the value area low, back to the POC, back to the high, and then hopefully continue in a big way, right? So yeah, we'll see if we can continue up through that profile and fill it in full, and then hopefully break out and come up into this one and maybe off into new all-time highs. But there you go. Volume profiles are absolutely goated, guys. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Golden Child. Said, I love you, Frankie, but I hope your short gets stopped out for the benefit of everyone's hodl bags. And shout out to Golden Child. With profits locked in and stop loss at break even, I wouldn't mind getting stopped out either because everybody, including your boy Frankie Candles, wants Bitcoin to go up. And I got my money. If it stops me out in profit, that's okay. I'll make a bunch of money. It's not a big deal. And then we can still be happy about the move to the upside, right? Like anytime I short, want to be very clear. Doesn't mean that I want Bitcoin to go down forever. I'm just trying to capitalize on those little moves. So yeah. Let's see, still up 1,800. I got about, I think like $400 locked in. I don't know why that's not showing up here. Yeah, there's no realized P&L here. Weird. It used to not be a thing, and then they added it. Now I don't see it. Interesting. But yeah, not too bad. 1,800 unrealized. Should I close it? Should we flip long? Should we take a DGen long? What should we do, guys? Let me know. But yeah, guys, I did just want to go live and cover this live price action with you guys as Bitcoin finally tried to break an all-time high again. We didn't really do it on Bitstamp. We did not do it on Bybit, right? We kind of just barely front ran it there on where's it at? Yeah, we just barely front ran it there. Come on. Hide. Okay, everybody calm down. The candles disappeared. What does that mean? Bitcoin's going to zero, guys. That's it. Bitcoin's done. It's just gone. No more Bitcoin. But no, we did barely front run that. You have to kind of zoom in a lot. But, what was this? Let's measure it here. Yeah, less than $10. It's barely front ran that level. Not very often that you will front run an all-time high like that. I mean, you did hit it. Like if you take a look at the Bitstamp chart, I'll just pull it up over here. Right, Bitstamp, we did SFP it. That's why I took that short from the top that I just showed. But yeah, again, not giga shorting this for zero. If it happens, I'll let it hit me by surprise. But as the market structure remains bullish, guys, the shorts are scalps until proven otherwise. But with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream, or today's live stream. We got to go live at 5:45, so it's not it. It's not it for today, guys. We'll see what plays out. We'll recheck in with you at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We took a look at some of the altcoins. We took a look at Bitcoin. We even saw that local value area try to go up to the POC. So you guys have the local levels, the macro levels, the local upper targets if we make a new all-time high, the macro targets if we make a new all-time high. Are we about to see this thing start to get fun again? I sure do hope so. And if not, we'll enjoy those gains on that dump to the downside, short from the top. So shout out to the Candle Mafia, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Full Melt Mike. Shout out to Greg. Boss Man in the chat. Can you do Doge, please? Yeah, we'll do Doge. Let's do Doge. I know you guys can't see my chart. I don't even have OBS open here. I'm just delved into the charts here, guys. But yeah, okay, we'll take a quick look at Dogecoin. This will be the last thing we look at. Bonus for the people who stuck around. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Doge. And yeah, I mean, Doge just kind of right on track here, right? Just kind of right on track. Came up to the POC and the weekly MPOCs, sitting right here. This is, yeah, I mean, we're just right in here, guys. This is, this is the overall thought process here for Dogecoin, right? Can we pull back? Sure. Let's pull this anchored VWAP to the low. I would say within your profile, come on, give me the confluence, baby. Give me the confluence. There it is, baby. There it is. So I would say local support here. You have your anchored VWAP pulled from the low here. If you do get a bigger pullback, right? Rejecting POC, right? At this point, we've gotten above the value area low. The next likely place for price to go is the POC. We've come up to that level. This POC is pulled all the way back here from 2021. Pretty crazy to see how well those levels are respected, pulled all the way from 2021. Now, if we do get a bigger pullback, right, the turbulence is to be expected within the profile. You flip the low. POC is next. We got that. If we do continue to cool off, I would watch this zone right here, 20 cents to 18 cents. Hopefully you could put in another higher low and continue your bigger trend into these upper weekly naked points of controls. We're rejecting the POCs right now, but if you can get above that upper weekly MPOC untapped, flip that POC to support, that's where you can see the bigger move up. But if we cool off, this would be the big level to look at. Underneath that, we'd be looking down towards that value area low of the range at 16 cents. So there you go. That'd be the local support. If we just continue up from here, key level of resistance, weekly MPOC, and the point of control of the range that we've already we've tapped the POC of the range. We front ran the weekly MPOC, but this zone still remains the same, sitting between 26 and 27 cents. Flip that to support. We could look for the bigger move through the profile, bringing us to the next target, sitting up here at about 32 to 35 cents. Get above that. You're, again, just anticipating the overall continuation of the profile, right? Eventually getting to that value area high. So there you go. And with that being said, that's all the time we actually have for today's live stream. I'll see you guys at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for being here. Smash that like button on your way out if you found this valuable and you've been watching these live streams, seeing us look for that push up on Bitcoin. And hopefully it doesn't go to zero. I'll see you guys at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Gen X, DJ, and Crypto Owl, Captain Kirk, Tex-Mex, Biomex. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's see. The one, Curtis Reese, Darren Does Things, all the mods, Boss Man, Big Huggies, and last but not least, we got Skirt Skirt. Shout out to you guys. I'll see you at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal